Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Yeah, man, they tell him, man, you gonna die, man, you know. So he standing in the hallway, you know, start getting, you know, bowled in because he safe. He hardly, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. Yeah, so now you really, yeah, you really pissing the rest of these dudes off now. So yeah, you in the situation. So the police come running, man. They done call the police. All the police come running around there. Mecklenburg got a mean team when they come with that TAC team. That's what it was built for. That's what the institution was for. When they come, they ain't doing no plan. So if you at war with them or you better be prepared because they coming to hurt you, you know. So they come, they run around there, they get him, boom, 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 take him down to the ground, cuff him up, drag him on out there, hog tie him, tell everybody else to go lock up. Now we on the other side, I'm on the other side of the block, you know what I'm saying? We right there with him, like I say, the block is like this, and there's a booth in between, but it's bars, so we can see over there, we can see his controversy, we can see his craziness. Plus, when he's standing out in the hall, we can actually see him. He like 7, 8 feet away from us. So we can see him out there hollering and screaming. So dudes on our side like, man, what's going on? What's up? So when the police come drag him out, man, dudes tell him, man, dude, he hit cake up, man, he hit cake up. So we like, what? So, you know, they come around, they locking everybody up, telling us everybody to go to their cell. Man, they done brought cake up there and laid him on the floor by the booth. He bleeding. He ain't even conscious no more. They lock everybody up, man. They get Cake out there, man. They end up having a helicopter Cake up out of there, man. And Cake almost died, man. He almost killed Cake. He almost killed Cake, man. He almost died. I know he went out. I didn't see him no more after that situation. You know, I think by the time he ended up getting well or getting back, I was already gone up off of Mecklenburg. But yeah, man, they ended up getting Cake, man. Cake almost died, man. He stayed up in, I know he was in MCV. That's usually where they was taking people in. I know he was in there for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And from what the rumors was, he was fighting for his life. You know, he was intoxicated. He got stabbed up a couple of times while he was laying down asleep. So, you know, like I say, it's fortunate that he lived, but a situation like that almost took him up out of here. You know, almost took him up out of here by underestimating somebody else, by thinking that dudes would be, you know, too scared to do that to him. That's probably why he slept with his door open. Dudes would be too scared to do that to him, or dudes were so intimidated by his persona, or dudes were so intimidated by his gangster, they weren't nobody gonna try him like that because they knew what the repercussion was gonna be, especially if they weren't successful. Now, truth be told, it ain't no question. If he run across Cake again, he probably gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he in population. And truth be told, if he run across some of the dudes that Cake dealt with, and he in population, he probably gonna have to fend for his life. You know, because that's the loyalty that go along with dudes that travel in that circle and dudes that mess with each other. They gonna go all out for each other by any means necessary because they expect the same in return. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man, he got away with that one, man, and he knew, even though he was young, he knew in his mind the type of play he made, and he knew the situation that he put himself in because he was back there in the hole for a minute too, and it came time too that either they could release him or he had to stay back there because, like I told y'all, Mecklenburg was the be all, the end all. Ain't nowhere else you could go when you acting crazy or you pushing that Bethlehem or something. You going to Mecklenburg. Now either you gonna be on population or you gonna be in segregation. But it won't nowhere else they can send you until they feel like you done calmed down or you done got yourself in a situation whereas to you manageable on a regular population, and then they might send you back to a lower level, you know, or another prison. But until that time come, Mecklenburg was your home, man. So he won't coming back out on that. He meant he won't coming back out on the yard because he knew what the situation was. He knew if he came back out on that yard, then 9 times out of 10, he probably was going to die, you know, or have to take a life, you know. So he ain't come back out on that yard, man. And that change, that's the side. Sometimes something happen, man, it'll change your whole course of your bit. And that changed the whole course of his bit. Maybe I'll do a story about B-Mo later on too, because B-Mo became somebody else after that situation. He became somebody. And as I remember, when I left prison, he was still in there. So I don't know if he out or whatever, but he definitely became somebody else, metamorphosized into somebody else, physically and mentally. You know, just to say this, to get over him. But the last time I seen him, he was big then. Like I told you, he was a little straggly little dude. I seen him years later, probably over decades later, a decade and some more later. But he was a big dude then, and he was on a whole nother trip. But he made it be known that he didn't want to come back out on that population because he was now back there in the hole. And when he was back there in the hole in segregation, you know, he was just cutting up back there. He was setting fires, cussing out the police, flooding, doing anything he could to stay in trouble back there so they won't end up kicking him back out the population. Because he knew if he came back out the population, he knew what awaited him out there. So he did all of that back there, man. He even stabbed another dude back there through the tray slot. Yeah, he stabbed another dude back there through the tray slot. Got to argue with a dude that was in SEG. Sometimes I say on Mecklenburg, you be in SEG, you know, you can pop your slot, you can open your own tray slot. Dudes learn how to do all of that in there. They ingenious in there, man. They gonna, if it's a way that's a will, they gonna find out how to do it. So, you know, they used to close our tray slot and they had to open it by key. That's the way they feed us. But we be back there, man. You in segregation, you back there so long. Dudes be hollering, talking to each other. You know, you alone. Everybody just holler, talk to each other. So it's harder because you got to holler through the little small crack in the side of the door or lay on the floor and holler up under the door where you got a crack. Yeah, I know it sounds savage, but that's how we had to live, you know. But if you pop your slot open, which was probably about this wide and this tall, you could talk freely. Set at your slot and talk freely. Now, the slot wasn't supposed to be open until the police opened it or until it was feeding. But if you walk into segregation in Mecklenburg, man, almost every slot open. Police might come around, do a round, they're going to close them all. He know in his mind, as soon as he leave, they all going to start opening. Block up, block up, block up, block up. Because dudes will take a shoestring, take pieces of cardboard, and they jimmy it, learn how to jimmy the joint open, put the string through that joint, pull it, open the slot, pop their own slot. Now, they used to give you a case for that. They could give you a case for that, you know, for tampering with DOC devices. But on Mecklenburg, like I told you, they won't trip and they ain't gonna write no charge about it. They might come around and say, man, put your slide up, man, leave your slide up. But they know you're gonna open it back up. They ain't give you no charge. So, yeah, man, so he's supposed to be arguing with a dude about something. Then he rocked the dude to sleep. Rocked the dude to sleep, act like everything was squash. The dude came out to go to the shower. You know, sometimes when you in SEG, if they ain't got enough officers, you in SEG, it's only 12 cells, 6 on top, 6 on the bottom. It's a small block. The person in the booth control the doors. So if they ain't got enough workers in the shower day, usually they'll come, put the handcuffs on you, open the door, police will walk you to the shower, tell you got 10 minutes, boom, 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 come back, get you, walk you back. But ain't nobody in the block, they ain't got enough workers. It's your time for a shower. They'll bust the door, let you out, tell you got 10 minutes to get in the shower, get back in your cell, or you can get a charge. Now you come out, normally a dude come out, try to walk around, run, grab something from somebody else from another slide, speak to whoever they want to speak to, run, get in the shower, go back. You out there by yourself, so they ain't had no words that you out there by yourself because you couldn't do nothing. You by yourself. Only worst case scenario, you buck, you don't want to go in your cell. They gonna call the goon squad gonna come. After they finish beating the brakes off you, they gonna throw you back in your cell, beat up, broke up, and busted up. So normally, dude gonna go back to his cell, you know, because they coming with them Ninja Turtle outfits, night sticks, shields, vests, and they gonna get off on you, you know. So the rumor was that, man, they let him out for the shower. The dude he was arguing with, man, they supposed to squash the beat. He called the dude to the slot. He got the slot open. Dude's talking to him. And he dude get in on his knees to talk to you through the slot because the slot low, a little bit about waist level. So he down there talking to him and everything. And he done tricked the dude, told him, yeah, man, see, I'm making this in the cell, the wine right here. And the dude looked through the slot to see the wine, and he hit him in the face. Hit him in the face and then started talking trash. I told you I was going to get you. I told you I was going to get you. You thought it was over. Yeah, I got you. So he done stabbed dude in the face, man. Dude done ran up there to the booth, hollering, blood screaming, talking about he got to go to medical. He got to go to medical. They came, get him, take him to medical. You understand me? He messed all up. Now, BMO back there got a whole nother case. So he know he ain't coming out now. So he just back there living the gangster's life and said, because he don't want to go back out there on that population. Under no circumstances, he ain't going back out there because he know what awaits him out there. So now he catching more and more casualties back there. He beefing with the police. He flooding. He setting fires. He stabbing dudes. So he essentially building up his reputation. He done stabbed Cake, almost killed Cake, or killer. So he building up his reputation, man, at the same time. But at the same time, he building up his reputation because he's scared to confront what he know he got to confront later on down the line. So that just was a crazy situation in itself. We out there on population. We hearing all the stuff he doing back there. So like I say, now dudes have started to look at him a little different. Because like I say, when you can create that violence, which is a universal language, you going to be listened to and you going to be respected to some degree, you know. So that's what he was doing, building up his reputation back there, man. He won't coming back out there because, like I say, he knew what awaited him out there. Cake, man, like I say, I ended up getting gone. I ended up on Greensville after I ended up leaving Mecklenburg. I don't know if it was that trip or the next trip that I was on Greensville, but later on down the line, man, I ended up running into Cake's nephew, man. His sister's son. He was locked up. I don't think he had a minute. He was young, and at the time, he was a cool dude, too. They used to call him Party P. Shout out to Party P, man. He was a cool dude. I used to play chess against him. I used to play Scrabble against him. And yeah, man, I had talked to him. I remember when I first seen him, I remember him looking a lot like Kate. And when I did get to talking to him and chopping it up with him, man, he said, yeah, man, he had an uncle that was locked up a long time, man, locked up still. And he told me his name was CUPCAKE. I said, man, I know him. I know him real well, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah. And he was like, I ain't never met him, man, you know what I'm saying? I was born since he was locked up. And I ain't never met him, but I heard a lot about him, So I used to tell him little stories about Kate, and we used to chop it up, and that's how we became cool, man. But I do remember, like I say, more that I heard about Kate, man. You know, he did recover from the situation. He bounced back. He still was the same old Kate, doing what he was doing, you know, wreaking havoc everywhere he go, toting them Mac 10s, not playing no games. And yeah, man, he went on about his bit. I personally never, I never ended up being on the institution with him no more. I never ran into him again. I just used to hear his name. I know he ended up getting off of Mecklenburg, going to different places or whatnot. And I think he ended up in the mountains, man. He ended up in the mountains for whatever situation it was. But the last I had heard exactly from him, that he was in Kings Mountain, you know. And he was up there. That was when they built all these new prisons. Now, coincidentally, old boy BMO, he stayed in the hole for some years. Not to come out there in that population and deal with what he had to deal with until they eventually made all these new prisons. Wallace Ridge, Red Onion, Kings Mountain, Sussex 1, Sussex 2, where, as to I told you, Mecklenburg was the be-all, the end-all. Now they build all these other institutions. Now they got other institutions that they can send troubled people to, or people that, you know what I'm saying, was in those type of situations, or was going into long-term stay, or like I say, wreaking havoc with that Bethlehem over the system or whatever, or attacking officers. These was prisons that was built for that. So I heard that BMO stayed in there until he ended up, you know, they opened up these new prisons, and he was a perfect candidate because he won't going back on population there, and they ended up sending him up in the mountains where he ended up staying, to the best of my knowledge, his whole bit. Because when I got up there in 2009, he was already up there, and he was up there when I left in 2014 or something like that. Yeah, he was there when I left. He was there when I got there. When I got there, I seen him the first time I had seen him in a long time. I seen him, he was the house man in segregation, you know, and I seen him pushing the joint back around, and I hollered at him and everything. And like I say, physically he looked different, mentally he was different, and he had a whole different reputation at the time that I tell y'all about in another video. But yeah, man, he did all of that for self-preservation. You know what I'm saying? He did all of that for self-preservation to make sure that he didn't go back out there where all that drama was at, where all that tension was at, where all Cake friends was, where he didn't know how that situation was going to end up. So he did what he had to do to stay back there. He did what he had to do to protect himself. He did what he had to do to make sure that he wouldn't run into them dudes again. Now, whether or not they put him on keep separate lists, I know they probably put him on keep separate lists for Kate because of the situation. When there's a one-on-one situation like that and it's that Bethlehem play, the administration gonna put you on keep separate. Which don't always work. It does not always work. They may have on paper in the administration that this inmate can't be with this inmate, but years may go by, maybe even a decade, you may get transferred to one institution and they got this dude on the keep separate list, but it's time for him to get transferred. He may get transferred on the same institution as you and they done missed the paperwork. They ain't see. And then next thing you know, these two dudes on the same compound with each other and they see each other and somebody lose their life or somebody get hurt real bad. I have seen that happen. Now that's the administration for clear lawsuit because it's clearly in the paperwork, but they gonna doctor it, fix it up, and make it seem like it won't their fault or the paperwork won't secure. Somebody had took them off the keep separate list. They don't know who did it. They'll make up any excuse they can to try to take the blame off of them because, like I say, I done been on institutions with dudes where that happened. Excuse me, dude done stabbed a dude. They done been on keep separate list, and then the next thing you know, a couple of years later, they end up on the same compound together and it's on lockdown. And dude telling, man, look, you know, dude just came here, man. Dude just stabbed, man. He in the block. Where he at? He up here. Boom, boom, boom. We on lockdown. They letting people out for showers. This dude come out and go get in the shower. The dude that he stabbed is in the block. He unknown to that. Somebody done go tell him, get his door open, get him the knife. He goes upstairs and get dude in the shower and light him up. Almost killed him. Almost killed him. And I done seen dudes run into each other like that too on keep separate lists, and they walking in the boulevard together and see each other, and they don't even supposed to be on the compound together, and they break out fist fighting right there because he ain't there one of them got the Bethlehem on it, but had they had, somebody would have lost their life. But all these is administration faults, administration's, you know, lack of due diligence. But like I say, when it's your life, they not gonna put all of the effort into it that they supposed to because it's not their life. But I've seen that happen, man. But anyway, man, I don't think, I never heard that him and Cake ran into each other again, you know, but like I say, B More turned into a different dude. And as far as Cake go, man, unfortunately, the last I heard about Cake was that, you know, since I got out, I heard that he had passed away. I don't want to really speculate about how he passed away. I just heard it had something to do with drugs. But I ended up hearing that he had passed away, man, and I was sad for him, man, because like I say, I never really had a beef with him. He always was cool with me. I understand that he had his faults and his flaws, but everybody do. And I never really personally had a beef with him besides the incident with DP. But I heard he lost his life, man, and never was able to see the streets again, which is the worst thing that could possibly happen to anybody who's been incarcerated for a long period of time, is to unfortunately lose your life and they'll never be able to get back out, be around your family, be around your kids, your grandkids, or whoever, and experience that type of life again. That the last thing you seen was prison walls and bars and confusion and hate. You know, that's the worst case scenario for anybody in prison, is to lose your life in there, man. So shout out to him, man, and his family, if anybody out there watching, because like I say, man, overall, man, Cake had a good heart. He was a good dude. He lived a life that he felt like he had to live in prison, and you can't fault nobody for that, because in there it's survival of the fittest. You got to survive however you got to survive. And if it's at somebody else's expense, that's just what it got to be, because it's either going to be his or it's either going to be yours. You know, so